you're crazy, dude. Like, what are you talking about? We're following the law. So the reason that came to me, and maybe that was by God's grace, is to say our interpretation does not qualify like the truth of God, right?
Right.
So their interpretation then, most of Israel at that time, interpretation was, well, as long as we're following the law, or, oh, well, as long as I hit 75% or whatever, because I don't know how any Israelite justified having an Asherah pole on a hill, or bowing to Baal, and then also saying, but I believe in the God of Israel.
Right.
I think, I see that in the world nowadays, where you have people who say, yeah, I believe in God, and then you see no evidence of it, and it's like, it breaks my heart. I know it breaks the Lord's, but also, like, as Jeremiah did, he's like, man, no, don't let your interpretation, put a construct on God. See him for who he is. And when I've ministered to somebody, like, they said, oh, I know you're God, and as I'm going through the word, they have never read the book. And I was like, no, you didn't read the Bible. And I said, look, I can argue with you all day if you want to find out who God is. And plus, I didn't want to argue. I just was saying, hey, you're telling me you're frustrated with the truth, but you haven't even read the truth.
Right.
Go find out who Jesus Christ is from Genesis to Revelation. And then if you still say, I refuse, then, that's between you and the Lord. But I think your life will be transformed by that, because you'll see truth. And then the second part where you said, do we really want justice? Like you said, we never complain about things going good for us.
Yeah. Yep.
But what if we were, again, thinking about it in the second term of like justice? Well, would it be just for us to, not get the blessing? And we don't want to think that.
No,
and that's what I thought. I was like, oh man, what if it? I think that's got a lot of people like perked up and just like a little clinch. I mean, it clinches me, because it's like, I don't. And that was Job's argument the whole time. He's like, but justice, like, Father, I didn't do anything. Like, and I still think most people, I know myself included, I love the book of Job. I still go through it, and I just want to encourage other people. I still go through it saying, God is still really weird. I don't understand why I'm like, but Lord, you kind of like just, you put him on his face, and I get that, but also he was just saying, Lord, I loved you. Like, why did this happen? He wasn't aware of the whole conversation.
Correct.
But
yeah, in sports terms, we would say God put Job on an island.
Yeah.
He's out there, fully exposed, all by himself, not realizing how much help he really has, but he feels all alone. And everything is going against that young man.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just, at the end of the day, the whole Word of God is about us saying, even though I don't understand, I have to give it to you, because I know one day you'll make me understand when it suits your purpose, right, Lord, correct. Right?
Yep.
And
which is what he did to Job.
Yeah.
At chapter 38, he says, okay, now I'm going to help you understand.
Yeah, and what a beautiful Lord he is, in that he recorded that. And the second thing is, it's my testimony. So, John, read your second question again.
My second question, have you ever been like Job, trying to give God counsel? Exactly.
That's the point I want to make. So, listeners, this is my personal testimony. I don't know if you can imagine the amount of self-loathing I had. I mean, it was the brink of suicidal ideation, but it was never like I wanted to act on it. It was just this burning rage. That's all I can say. It was just this rage that I had to shake my fist at God and say, what'd you put me here? Like, why? Like, I hate myself. I hate this. I hate that. Like, what good am I doing? Like, why did you even allow me to breathe, right? Like, I had heard that before in my life. Why God breathed life into you? And I'm like, I don't know. And so I was just so frustrated. And then for so long, 25. It was actually before my 25th birthday. It was 1 month before. And so trust me, I was doing this a lot. You know, after the Marine Corps, after everything, and going through college. And I woke up from a dream. And this was before, of course, I knew Job. Now, mind you, I had definitely stepped foot in some energetic churches before that, and I had fallen away from them because I didn't get any discipleship, and I was wrestling through these things. And I had people say, dude, I can't help you. I don't know what to do. So, of course, at that point, I said, well, I'm sitting here like leading worship with you guys. I'm praying, I'm singing with y'all, and I feel totally outcast. So
I'm hurting, and there's nobody here. Right?
Yeah, so I wrestle with the whole, was I saved, was I not then? Because it's like I did kind of like Lot. I knew the Lord, but I stepped really close to Sodom, and then I lived in Sodom before God redeemed me out. And he said, hey, Lot, hey, Jason, you're living in this, but I love you enough that I'm telling you I'm about to bring it down, and I'm going to get you out. So the month before my 25th birthday, I had the dream about not only God, but the wife that he gave me. And so he actually showed me her outline. It was just her outline, and he just said, Jason, I know how much you hate yourself, and I know what you said against me. This was a Job moment before I knew the book of Job. I had read a lot of like First Kings and stuff like that. But so he was just like, I've heard what you've said against me. And so immediately I can hear God saying, I have power, but his voice flips like Hosea. And he says, but I love you. And I'm going to show you how much I do love you. But prepare yourself like a man, because you don't know what I'm about to do and what I'm going to have to do, because you ran away from me for so many years. And I kept seeing that. And then he showed again the outline of my wife. And it was just him telling me, like, I'm going to make in you what I want. And so I woke up in immense peace, perfect peace, that I will never be able to explain other than in heaven, unless God wants to visit that on me again. Because I promise you, that was a supernatural experience, and it was a miracle for me. And guess what? 2 weeks later, I couldn't. You wouldn't have known I had that dream. It was just like, yeah, whatever.
But that's how it goes. It's a journey, right?
But then 2 weeks later, I met my wife. I called my mom and sister after leaving the gym, and I said, hey, do you want to go get dinner? And we bartered back and forth where to go, and we went there. And then I met my bride, and I was so dead set again on death for myself. And literally I was really dead set on just such darkness and isolating myself. I was like, I'm going to be that person that will never have hope, never have dreams. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep going through school. But inside, I'm black as night.
Slow death, right?
Yeah, and my sister was like, no. I just, when you saw her, Jason, I can't put it into words. I'm going to write my number down. I said, you can do whatever you want. I don't have the courage to do this. Well, lo and behold, we met, and we're married now. But that's the truth of it. It was funny. We were just talking, chit chatting, and because she was my waitress, and so we were talking. We were asking about the food and stuff, and we were talking about college. We were both like, "Yeah, chemistry sucks." And I was like, "High five!" That was the moment God woke me up. Scales fell off my eyes, and it was like lightning. I cannot tell you. It was like lightning hit my heart. And it went through that high five, and I know it sounds silly, but it hit me in my heart, and then scales fell off like I cannot tell you. It was almost like a veil just lifted up, and I was able to see, because even to this day, the only thing I remember thinking was, why do I see you? Why do you matter? I don't understand. Who are you? Like, I see you. I kept thinking that. And I realized God revealed it to me 2 weeks later. Again, after meeting her, because she was just, it was awesome. She was like, no, I will meet you and I will let people know where I'm at and everything.
Just in case you're a pervert.
Yeah, or someone crazy, she said, in case you kill me.
Yeah.
But I remember driving back, and I knew I was in love with her. And God told me on the drive home, and I can tell you it was on North Point Boulevard going to University Parkway. He said, I'm going to have to do some things in you. I'm going to have to accelerate in you what I want to do, because my plan is going to work. My purpose is it. But there's a lot you need to learn. And I'm going to rush you forward. And like what we heard from our friends tonight, my heart was in surrender, and I really remember just saying, God, please do whatever you want in my life, because you are real, you are true, and I was redeemed.
And you've experienced what happens when you let God be God on His terms.
And
instead of insisting He be just like you and tolerate and accept and all that stuff. And that's a great testimony.
So that's... My life has always been different since then, and I've wrestled through hard things, and I think every Christian will, because inevitably we get through the Bible and we're like, Lord, help me understand this. I got to wrestle with it. But, Jacob wrestled with God.
Oh, yeah.
But Jacob came out of that. I'm not saying that we should. I'm looking at what happened to Jacob afterwards. Jacob then said, you are my God. Before, he knew God from the Bethel moment. The Bethel moment, and he always mentioned him in a way that, he was the God of Isaac and God of Abraham. But no, we definitively see Israel now walked away saying, my God. And when he saw his brother Esau, he said, all that's before you is from God's blessing. So we know he was transformed, and I was. So, and that's my story. That's my testimony. And of course, as soon as I heard you say that question, I'm like, all right, Father, I hope this blesses somebody, because miracles do happen. He is a God of miracles, and he's not our genie, but it is just.
And truth can set us free.
Yeah, there is such.
That's the joy of living life on His terms versus ours. It's when His truth comes in contact with who we are, it gives us perspective, and it changes, and to your point, transforms, and it's just peaceful.
Yeah, and He's still doing it, and I love it, because I have a love for my family that I never had, because again, I was so emptied. I was so and
anger.
And so now I'm actually able to look at other people with love, and I really want to get out there and do things. And of course, it's like, let me tell you about Jesus Christ, because He is real. So
powerful. Thank you, my friend.
Listeners, thank you, and please, we love you guys. We want to pray for you. We want to speak to you, and that's, again, I know that's why John wrote this book. It's just I know God maybe put that on his heart to remind us. We might want to bring God to the table, but we don't understand what that means, and thank God that He doesn't, because again, He is the maker of heaven and earth, things that we can never imagine. So reach out to us, please email us, and we'll catch you on the next episode. God bless you all.